Welcome to our group presentation. We are Minh, Cường, Nhật, Đăng, and Hữu Thiên from MA1 2020. We all know that because of the COVID-19, we can come to the offline class, but to study and have an exam online. The COVID-19 has been causing a great unprecedented consequences all around the world, and to better understand its impact on our major, the hospitality industry, we came up with the idea to discuss about what it has done with the Vietnamese tourism industry. And now let's begin. The hospitality industry in Vietnam in the COVID-19 pandemic. We travel not to escape life, but for life not to escape us. Because life is short and the human being deserve to enjoy it. The more modern the civilization, the higher demand of the people to travel. Vietnam is a cultural country where there are many well-known scenic spots as well as the diverse local culinary. For that reason, the hospitality industry in Vietnam has been developing rapidly in the recent years. According to the Vietnam National Administration of Tourism, in 2019, the tourism industry contributed over 9.2% to the country's GDP, created 2.9 million jobs. In general, in a period of 2015 to 2019, the tourism industry achieved a high growth rate of 22.7%. The achievement and effort of Vietnam's tourism has been highly appreciated by the world. The World Tourism Organization ranked Vietnam sixth in the top 10 countries with the fastest tourism growth in the world. With the growth of the previous year, in the first month of 2020, Vietnam tourism welcomed a record number of international visitors, which reached 2 million arrivals, up to 32.8% over the same period of 2019. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has quickly frozen the world tourism industry, and Vietnamese tourism is not out of influence. From February to April, the number of tourism had a significant downward trend, which fell dramatically from 2 million people to nearly zero. And it's not until 6 months later that, thanks to the campaign against the COVID-19 epidemic, was successfully carried out. The Vietnamese hospitality industry was gradually recovering at the month end of 2020. Based on the statistics in 2020, the number of foreign visitors decreased to 21% of the number in 2019, and the number of domestic visitors decreased to 66% compared to 2019. At the end of the year, the total revenue recorded from tourists were 312 billion, 2.4 times lower than last year. And because of the situation of the COVID-19 epidemic in Vietnam was controlled very early compared to the world, Vietnamese people have been able to travel domestically since the summer, which has saved Vietnam tourism industry. According to Booking.com, 96% of the total travel distance of Vietnamese people in 2020 is in the country. And Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, Vũng Tàu, Đà Nẵng, and Đà Lạt are the most popular destinations after the recovery. Besides, many tourists had a tendency to look for places that are not well known and rarely visited before. The beaches and locals along the Vietnam's 3,000 kilometers coastline are chosen by the homebound tourists to rediscover the beauty of their homeland. Cam Ranh, Thanh Hóa, Cửa Lò, Sầm Sơn, Quy Nhơn are becoming the emerging jewels, receiving relatively high appreciation from Vietnamese tourists compared to the previous year.
Come to the second part. I'm going to talk about the hotel and resort scenario during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I will introduce you in general about this industry. First, hotel resort management accounted for 9.2% of GDP, which equivalent to 22.34 billion USD. It provides about 4 million jobs at the end of 2020. The Vietnamese market has many big and famous hotel brands such as Marriott International, Accor Hotel, Intercontinental Hotel Group, Hilton Worldwide. So it means that the hotel and resort management industry in Vietnam is very developed within the recent year. Next, the COVID-19 pandemic, which got many terrible and serious problems to the Vietnamese economy market. The first result of COVID-19, especially in the hotel, many hotel and resorts are closed and some bankrupt during the COVID. And then they stop receiving guests and other activity. They are downsizing, reducing staff, crop in unnecessary services and outlets, reducing salary and cutting on bonus, tip and reward. It means that they are scaled down their business, stop develop and running their business hard like the previous time. Next, I will talk about the performances of hotel 4-5 star in Vietnam. I will choose two main ratios in hotel industry. The first is occupancy rate, and the second is revenue per available room to describe the performances of this hotel. I will talk about three main aspects. The first is Hanoi, second is Ho Chi Minh City, and final is Vietnam in general. So in the first 3 years, 2017 to 2019, you can see that there was a stable development in occupancy rate. But in 2020, there was a serious downtrend in occupancy rates. It's just 38% of Hanoi occupancy rate, 28% of Ho Chi Minh City occupancy rate, and 30% of Vietnam. It means that it's declined about 32% in general. In terms of revenue per available room rates, I will show you the downtrend of these aspects. The first is Hanoi RevPAR. It starts from $88 increase to 98 and then decline significantly to $45. The second aspect is Ho Chi Minh City. Begin with $75, increase a little bit, and then they plummet to just $26, the very small number. The final, in general, Vietnam start with $78, and then they still decline rapidly to just $30. So you can see from this, the hotel management industry are very affected by the COVID-19. They are scaled down their business. Their revenue are decline very much, and this may face some bad side of this situation. Next, I'm going to show you some booking channel variety. I will show in 2019 and in 2020. I will choose 4 main channels that the customer are choosing. The first, it is hotel website. In 2019, it is 17.6%, but it's down to just 5.3% in 2020. The second channel is online travel agency. Or you can call that OTA. It begins with 25.6% and just down to 10%. The third channel, which is the highest consumption by the customer, it is travel agency, or you can call it TA, begin with around 30% and down to 7.6%. And finally, the other channel variety, which accounted for around 4%, but that's just 1%. So from this, yeah, you can recognize that the hotel management industry has been facing a very serious problem in in the future. There will be a really bad hope for this industry.
Now we will move to the transportation industry. That you already know that transportation is one of the important factors of Vietnamese economic sector because of the influence of the service industry and tourism. It is an essential meaning of to bring tourists where they want to come, both domestic and foreign. Therefore, it is so classified as one of the service industry and played an important role in promoting the country economy. At the beginning of 2020, COVID-19 is an event that has a heavy impact on the tourism and service industry in our country. This also leads to the economic decline for the transport industry while workforce the reduced. First, we will talk about two things. First, the airline. In 2020, only 1.8 billion passengers in the world travel by plane. And the second thing is another vehicle. Domestic tourism was the main source of income at that time. Now we will move to the airline. As I already said that in 2020, only 1.8 billion passengers in the world travel by plane. COVID-19 has significantly reduced the number of the passengers compared to the 2019, just only 4.5 billion. For the world, 370 billion USD is lot of global airline. The world passenger volume account for the only 33 compared to the 2019, and the domestic. We will talk about Vietnam. The number of the tourism entering to Vietnam is also the factor affecting the degree in international flight. Now we will move to the charts of domestic. The international visitors come to Vietnam. As you can see that this is the chart below show that 2016 to 2019 is the period of robust development of our country tourism industry. 10 million to 18 million international visitors. This is a good number for Vietnamese economy. However, the next step to the 2020 is heavy decline because of the impact of COVID-19. The number of international visitors is only 3.8 million people. This is the significant number. The number of tourists entering Vietnam is also the factor affecting the decrease in international flight. With a small number of tourists, Vietnam international flight are on small flight for bring the patient to home. And next is the charts about the industry role in 2020, a tumultuous year. In January, when the COVID-19 epidemic has not yet spread to our country, Vietnamese aviation industry rose strongly with 31%. However, it was followed by a rapid decline to March of minus 0.6% and lowest peak in May. That's below the minus 30%. 60% of revenue from the international flights strong and March was completely suspended, leaving only a few domestic flights a day in April. The significant recovery in June and July is possible signal for the aviation industry. However, the second wave of epidemic returned and making the thing gradually worse than before. Now we will move to how was COVID-19 affected the Vietnam aviation industry. The Vietnam aviation industry has surplus of roughly 58 planes, which account for 26% of the total number of carriers. The we will talk about the shortage of cash flow. That you already know that the peculiarity of the aviation industry is so sell the ticket and collect the money in advance and pay for necessary expense such as aircraft rental, operating costs, etc. The translation caused many people to refund the ticket and get their money back. And in order to afford the country operating during the difficult time, tens of thousands redundant employees had been laid off. Not only that, we have more than one consequence about the COVID-19. Firstly is ticket price. When compared to the same period in 2019, the average ride in April 2021 is 55% lower. And of course, that measure this so much because the travel need to customer were not available at that time. Vietnamese Airlines has recorded the considered loss of 10,676 billion Vietnam dong loss. That is this event is also considered to the haven't taken on a profit in the past 4 to 5 years of Vietnamese Airlines. So the second thing is sell the plane. Vietnamese Airlines sell 11 of its Airbus A321ceo aircraft because of such excess. Now, next, we will move to the support and help. That you already know, this industry is very important with the Vietnamese economy, so that the government have to bring a lot of help to the aviation industry. The first thing is fee. 50% discount of take-off landing and aircraft operating price of domestic flight is the good thing for everyone. The second thing is the tax. 30% of reduction of environmental protection tax compared to the British tax rate. And finally is the bank. Refinance from the state bank is up to 4,000 billion Vietnam dong with 0% interest rate of loan to the Vietnamese Airlines. So next, we will move to the another vehicle. Osmosis of tourist activity for foreign tourists as bandits. So we have to reply the domestic tourism to generate income. However, this also not better way because people are concerned that the disease will return again, making it difficult to domestic tourists to also become difficult. So the first thing is road. The figures of 2020 road, just only 587,000 people using road in the 2020 years. That's increased a significant 76.4%. And for the sea, that's just only 144.6 thousand people using sea in 2020. Our presentation is done. Thank you for attention and listening. Goodbye.